Today I'm going to show you some of the functionality of the surf controller. We have surf left, surf right, reset, and this is the analog dial to fine-tune the wave. We also have 1-button, 2-button, and 3-button remote options. Those can function in a number of different ways depending on which software version we're running on the board, and we have several different varieties depending on customer preferences there. You hit surf left, it moves the right side or starboard side actuator down, so you're in surf mode, and then you can turn this dial, and you can see as the dial turns, it's moving the extension back up here, and then as I'm turning it back up, it's moving it back the other direction to 100%. When I hit surf right, because I'm already surfing, it schedules a wake transfer, waits 3 seconds, and then does the wake transfer. And you can see here it's flashing both, and now we're in surf right mode. Whenever you hit reset, it's just a click, no need to push and hold. It pulls up only the actuator that's down, so it's always tracking state for the actuators. And for this version of the software that I'm working on today, if you hit surf left, and you see I hit surf left RF. RF buttons are unique buttons, so we can map them to do other things than what these buttons are doing. But in this case, we're replicating surf left and surf right with the RF. And then we hit that, and it's going to schedule a wake transfer because we're already in surf mode. And now it's doing the wake transfer and going in surf right. And because this is only the 2-button remote, we wanted to have the ability for users who maybe didn't want to install a control panel in their boat, or just wanted to be able to reset without having to walk over or have the driver click. You just push and hold those 2 buttons, and I have something called a long press, and long press is 2 seconds. And if it's both being pressed, it just it puts it into reset mode. And so those combinations of press, release, long press, and hold all do different things. So like when the GPS is not active, this light would be flashing rapidly. And if you held this button down like this, I'm just manually pushing the actuator down here by holding this button down. And you can see I'm moving the starboard side actuator down. It's lighting up the port sides because that's the side that you would be able to surf on. And then whenever you're in, anything's down, it's tracking, and you can just click the reset to bring it back up. You can also push and hold the manual to force it down. Say we're down, and then I can click 2 buttons. I have the ability to manual raise one side or the other. I push and hold these, and you can see I'm manually retracting port. Now back to here. So we have surf left, surf right, reset. We have, if you hold this down and continue to hold, it'll manually deploy this tab. If you push and hold this one down, it'll manually deploy this tab. If you push and hold the 2 buttons, it'll manually raise this tab. Push and hold these 2 buttons will manually raise these tabs. The manual modes are great for when you don't have GPS signal, like when you're doing installation. And so you can see there's a lot of different variations. One last and final variation is launch mode. So you push and hold 2 buttons for 3 seconds each, and we go into launch mode. And now you can see they're both lit up because both tabs are deployed. And because the system has integrated GPS, it's on every board, included in every system for safety. We've also added some convenience-oriented automation features to that. And so what happens is if you accelerate the boat, this is for wakeboarding, not surfing, these 2 tabs will be down, they'll keep your bow down, they'll get you out of the hole faster. And then once you reach 15 miles per hour, they will start flashing, and that indicates they're retracting and getting out of the way. So you can continue on. The 1-button remote, if you're already in surf mode I don't have this one paired with the board, but you would just click and it schedules your wake transfer. So that's the simplest option there. And the remotes do pair, and there's a pairing button on the board, so they're typically paired in manufacturing. You just click that in this learn mode, and then it's just simply clicking the remote. And you can randomize the encoding on the remote by poking something into that hole there as well, so that none of the remotes will interfere with each other out on the lake. You can also see here that we have 3 motor drivers here. Center motor driver can be configured in software to drive a center tab, if that's a requirement. Otherwise, we have these labeled lights and horn, and we also provided, for your convenience, ground connections here if you'd like to connect ground and supply a ground and power to these outputs. And right now, with this current software version, the lights and horn alternate, and so they'll buzz and flash 3 times while we're waiting for the 3-second wake transfer schedules, and to indicate what's happening. It's especially useful if the surfer hits the remote and the driver is not aware of what's happening. If the horn's flashing or horn's beeping, they can be prepared for the steering wheel to shift a little bit when the wake transfer starts to initiate. There you go. That's an overview of the functionality and a little bit about the software configuration options for the board.